fun time to be a part of it.
How did they get started? Do you know? Like, how did they get the inspiration to start this, the founders?
Sure. So Neza Alawi is the founder. She's also the CEO of Mayshad Choice, which is the place and the branch of Mayshad that I work in. But Mayshad originally started as a foundation in Morocco, where the founder is from. So that foundation is still operating. It helps create, self-income generating activities for low-income women in different areas in Africa. So there's also, Mayshad Luxury, which is a handbag line designed by our founder. And we have 2 hotels that are based in Morocco. So I think, Neza is just a serial entrepreneur. She is the most passionate woman I've ever met. So I think she just really saw a big lack in resources for professional women, especially, in New York City, in the United States. So she moved here and, made it her mission to build a team and really make resources for the CEOs and the executives and experts of New York City. And so we're hoping to expand to other cities soon in the next year or so. So, Chicago and Boston, look out for Mayshad.
I love it. It's so aligned with kind of like the work that we do here too. And I love the idea of the women bonding and the connecting on a human level. I mean, how did you come about this opportunity? And since you recently graduated, this is something I think our community can really relate to, like how you made it happen for yourself.
Sure. Actually, the job found me. So I was
even better.
I put a lot of effort into my Instagram when I was in school, because I realized from my various internships that, having a large social following and certain tactics with your Instagram, especially as a photographer, as an artist, can help you get found. And so these events that Mayshad put on, they had, hired freelance photographers for them in the past before they had in-house creative people to do them. So I was contacted by Hasna, who doesn't work for the team anymore. She actually moved to Greece recently, so that's fun for her. But,
totally.
So she's probably having a great time. But so I got contacted by Hasna. She found my Instagram and asked me to photograph an event. So I did, and then I didn't hear anything for a couple months. I just thought it was a freelance job. So then the next 2 months I think passed, and they asked me to do another event. And so I said I would, and then I came back, and Neza, the founder, wasn't actually at the first event. She was at the second event. And she came up to me and she was like, I'd love to hear about your dreams and your passions, because she's just that type of person. And I was explaining that, I'm trying to figure it out and I'm looking for a job. And she was like, oh my gosh, we're actually hiring for XYZ, and like brought my colleague Julie over and was like, you need to interview this woman. So
wow.
I got interviewed and I got the job. So
of course you did.
Kind of handed to me. Yeah, so it was kind of lucky, but it's not like I didn't go through the grueling 9 months of applying to over 200 jobs and just feeling exhausted and defeated that most college grads from art school go through. So it wasn't that easy, but it sounds easy from that story.
It sounds, you're a storyteller, so that's what you have to do, right? You have to make it sound, amazing. And that's okay. But at the end of the day, when you're saying these people that have, have these challenging experiences, what do you think's missing, from that experience of being in college and looking for the job? Like, how do you think us, like people, communities like ours, Supergirls, how can we best help, you women as you graduate from your perspective?
Sure. So I think a lot of what's missing is basically a reality check I don't know if a lot of people are really aware of what goes into finding a job. It's just kind of this broad concept that, oh, when you graduate, you find a job. But, it's a lot harder for artists. So, there's people in NYU Stern, the business school, that get internships and then they get a job offer, 6 months before they graduate, and that works for them. But, there's a lot of people that have to go through a large job application process. So I got my job at Mayshot in November. I've been applying to jobs since like February. So it was a long process, and I think that, I probably would have started sooner. That was the first thing I would have done, and I would have actually probably reached out for more resources. I feel like something that's probably lacking in a lot of schools is good advising. So I would reach out to the career resources at my school that I did have available and look for the lack in my school and look out, in the world. So in some circumstances, it could be finding a program like yours to fill in the gap of a lack of, good advising at school. So yeah, my thing is just, start sooner, get prepared, talk to people who are going through the process, do a lot of informational interviews, network quite a bit, and just, don't get discouraged because something could just land in your lap out of something unexpected. So, yeah.
Those are some great tips, very helpful for us as we think about how we continue to help you guys. And I especially, definitely have a soft spot in my heart for the artists and the creatives, because I feel like I am definitely, even though I'm my career in business, but I definitely feel like you guys have so much to offer the business world, but you're not really studying that. It's not your focus. And so you don't always know that. So you don't know what you don't know. But look at these guys. They found you because of your work.
Yeah.
So that's a beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful story. Okay. Last question, because we have to wrap up, but I want to know, can you mention any real memorable moments from your amazing internships that you had? Because you had a couple really sharp ones.
Sure. One of my favorite moments from working with Annie, which I think is probably my most notable internship, was the one day I got to go on set. So most of the time my job was doing pre-production, which means that I wasn't ever actually going to the place where Annie was shooting. But one day I actually got to go. So my cheekbones apparently looked similar to the model that they were going to be shooting that day. So I actually got to be the test subject that they were photographing, which was really cool.
That's so cool.
So
yeah.
I got to be the lighting, check, which was fun to, sit on Annie's set and to be a part of that. But, so there was that. And another one, I worked with Jordan Matter, who is just so opposite from Annie in the sense where he is such a personality. He does these crazy 10-minute photo challenges with very famous dancers where he runs around and basically places that people shouldn't be leaping and bounding, and takes photos and hopes that he gets caught for the sake of having a really cool video. So one of the best ones I got to do was we were in the New York Public Library with a dancer, and she, in the large reading room where there was all the tables, actually got on the table and did a fire, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it was a huge leap. She did a giant leap off the table, and he got this really amazing shot, but obviously we got in big trouble. We just ran away because it was on the 10-minute timer, and then at the end she actually jumped in the fountain and did this really cool pose outside of the library. So yeah, it's always, almost every experience I've had with Jordan is memorable just because he takes huge risks and just does things that, you would never, feel comfortable or confident or be bold enough to do. So he was really fun to work with in that sense. But yeah, I really am grateful for all the internships I got to do. I feel like I learned different things from each one. And I would definitely recommend that people should, do internships. My internship with Jordan wasn't really that formal. He just said, if you want to, he posted on his Instagram, like if you want to come be on set, like email XYZ. So I emailed her and then I just, kept reaching out and kept going back and became, good friends with his videographer and then learned some stuff from him. So not all of your internships have to be formal. Just, email people, hope for the best.
Take risks. That is great advice. I love talking. I love hearing your story. We have to wrap up, but Sage, amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us
thank
tonight.
you so much for having me.
And the community, if they want to reach out to you, what's the best way? Instagram?
Sure, yeah. My Instagram would be the best way. They can find me. It's just my name, Sage Lally. That's it. No spaces, no.
I just followed you. I just followed you on there.
Amazing.
All right.
I followed you back.
You guys, thank you. Love it.
We're official online besties.
We're besties. All right, cool. Well, listen, everyone listening to Miss Amazing Sage Lally, know her name because she's going to be famous someday like Andy Warhol and these other people that she spoke so highly of. And take her advice. Take risks, okay? Don't be shy. Get it out there. Ask for what you want. Go for it. Until next time, yes, go out, slay dragons.